Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is a voice test. Before we start, let me know in the live chat whether you guys can hear me a-okay. We will be starting in around 2 minutes. I clearly need a sip of water. Got something stuck in my throat. Yeah, but let me know in the chat whether you guys can hear me. Alright, so I think we should just get started then. Why wait, eh? Why freaking wait? Should we start? Let me know in the chat. Or should we wait for more people to show up? There's around 50 people here thus far. Hit that like button while we wait. Hit that subscribe. And hey, go ahead and hit the bell notification icon too so you don't miss the next impromptu live stream. Canadian A in the room? Yeah, from Ottawa, man. Well, I'm Toronto, Ottawa. I don't even know anymore. But yeah, not anymore though. Not anymore. Got sick of the cold. Music starts, says Alexander Marks. Mystery Mask is in here. How's it going, buddy? IJ is in here as well, and Swag is in here too. 66 people. Yeah, I think we are good to start. But let me just go ahead and double check on one last thing before we start. Oh my god. What a way to start this morning. Oh my god, man. What can you do, but just laugh it off? Alright, let's go again. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, guys. My name is Sean Dexter, and I welcome you back to the Mango Grove for your daily flop stream, because I flopped one more time. It's become a regular occurrence now. But hey, we have a lot to talk about today. We will be answering the question on everyone's mind: is the bull market over? Is it all coming to an end? And we are starting today's stream a couple hours earlier today because I was going through a lot of my PMs, all of my PMs yesterday. I haven't gotten through them all just yet. I will get through them, I promise. But many of you were mentioning how you guys can hear me now, right? I should confirm before I go on. Let me know, can you guys hear me? It does seem like you guys can. I do have my voice meter like going but yeah, I was going through my PMs and many of you guys were mentioning how you weren't able to ask me the questions you did have because you missed the live stream. And then that got me feeling a little bit bad, because I realized that many of you who are in North America struggle to catch these live streams. So I said, hey, why not do these live streams earlier than usual? So I am breaking my usual morning routine today and starting the stream 2 hours early. I hope you guys enjoy today's stream. We will be having fun like we always do, going through Bitcoin and Cardano for the most part. I will be starting with Cardano today. Cardano showing some strength, showing something interesting. I'll be talking about my outlook on the markets, how I will be navigating these waters, right? It's getting a little bit stormy out here, but it's going to be fun nonetheless. This volatility is a trader's market. So yeah, you guys can hear me, right? All right, cool. So before we start, we're gonna go through the live chat, see who we have here. We do have Indranil Jain in here. He was one of the first ones in here. Massive shout out to this guy. Really, I'm impressed with his determination, his persistence, and his willingness to learn. So yeah, I'm impressed, Ajay. I'm really impressed. Glad to have you in the community. And by the way, for those of you who are another massive shout out to Mohank from the Seed program. And if you guys are in the Seed private chat, essentially if you are on the Seed program, by the way, you should be in the Seed private chat. We reach out to all of you, so make sure you're in there, because there's a lot of valuable information in there, and we have separate sections for certain things. And one of the sections is called Mango Lessons, where we post our mistakes, we post our emotional struggles, we post our journey, right? We talk about what we went through with a certain trade, our successes, our hurdles, our mistakes, our mess ups, and a lot of the stuff in there is mostly just our mistakes, right? Why? Because we promote at Mango being okay, being wrong, right? We are, as a community, we don't try to outdo each other. We don't try to one up each other. In fact, a lot of people hide their wins, right? Because we don't want to, because we understand that our wins are just a consequence of luck, right? It's our risk management that is really the key to our success. It's a risk management we put in place, and everything that comes after that in terms of the wins is just pure luck. Yesterday and day before and this weekend, all of us saw the importance of that, right? Because all those victories mean jack shit, nothing, if you don't have that risk management in place, because that risk management keeps you in place, keeps you surviving these markets, to keep those wins coming and coming. So going back to the topic at hand, Mohank posted a really good write-up where he talks about his roller coaster of a journey in the crypto space thus far, right? And he talks about where he messed up and what he did wrong, his entire journey through and for, and what he's going to be looking to do moving forward, right? So yeah, really good write-up by Mohang, and there was another really good write-up by let me just go and pull it up. So we have Ted Sheets as well, I believe, right above him, right? So Ted Sheets had a really nice write-up, but right above that, Fatty, yeah, Fatty, very similar to Mohang. So read both. In fact, if you guys get the time, go through the entire Mango Lessons channel. It is building up now, so it may take you some time, but yeah, let's go ahead and get started. Wait, did you guys lose my volume again? No. Okay, cool. You guys can hear me. I'm taking a sip of my drink. Siddhartha's in here too. How's it going, Sid? We got two of my favorite seedlings in here now. AJ, how's it going? AJ, you made it. I really thought you wouldn't make it today, because I kind of switched up the timings, but good to see you in here, man. Good to see you in here. Carlos, how's it going, buddy? He says good start. Yeah, good start indeed. Carlos Anis is in here as well. Anesses, am I pronouncing your last name? Swag is in here. And who else is in here? Mystery Mask. Yep, I already gave you a shout out, but I don't think you heard me. New Art is in here as well. He says cocaine. Okay, cocaine it is. Let's see, who else do we have? Blah blah blah. Rob Stroud from Australia. How's it going, Rob? Alexander Mark says start. We are starting, bud. James Smith says, I feel like it will dip tonight, so I'm going to feel dumb tomorrow if it does. I didn't sell to buy back low. You can't feel like that way. You can't trade every single movement and leg of the market. You're gonna drive yourself nuts, and we'll talk about that today too. VeChain to the moon. I think Krusha, by the way, might be doing a daily analysis on VeChain today, so keep an eye out for that. Why won't I listen to the indicator? Story of our lives when we start our journey, and don't rely on one single indicator ever. Try to make a proper system, right? Like you should have a proper if this then that then this then that kind of flow chart to enter trades, and listen to that. Make a system and trust your system over yourself. Garima, how's it going? Good morning. Keaton says, hey Sean, just wanted to let you know that you guys know that your passion for this is really appreciated. Definitely got me interested in the market, and it is a lot of fun. Yeah, it's liberating, man. The market's actually liberating because you have only yourself to blame, and you have only yourself to reward or to take credit for all the wins that you do get, right? It's the purest form of entrepreneurship, and every trade you put on is like a brand new venture. I don't want to say that really. You want to take the entire journey as one business, right? And every day is one leg of the business that you're dealing with. Alright, so should we start? Do you guys want to start with Bitcoin or Cardano? I'm leaning towards Cardano today, because I just want to talk about what Cardano is doing, and then I'm going to tie it in with what I'm seeing on Bitcoin, right? And we can talk about whether we are bullish, whether we're bearish, whether I want to know what you guys are feeling about the market as well. Are you guys bullish or bearish? Let me know in the live chat. Sachin is in the house from PDX. Looks like a healthy correction and shaking out the weak hands. Long Levada. Alright, cool. So Cardano it is then. This is why you always need tight stops when trading in futures. That is wrong, Azar. That is wrong. You're essentially trading a strategy that is going to lead to a death by 1,000 cuts. Only thing I'm concerned about is RSI is high compared to the other alts. Referring to Bitcoin or Cardano. Don't let that bother you. Cardano's RSI being higher than other alts could be a sign of strength. So that's what, remember, think about what RSI stands for, right? Relative Strength Index. So but again, it's relative to the past, like time duration that you have inputted in there. So 14 days, 20 days, depending on what you have your settings at. Okay, so we're going to be starting with Cardano. I do want to start with Cardano Bitcoin first. All right, I want to put this out there. So what's the Cardano Bitcoin pairing actually telling you? It's telling you how Cardano has performed against Bitcoin, right? That's what Cardano BTC means, right? So Cardano / Bitcoin means, hey, this chart is going to tell me Cardano's relative performance to Bitcoin. When you're looking at Cardano USD, it's telling you Cardano's relative performance against the US dollar. Right now, when you're looking at Cardano Bitcoin, we can see that Cardano did pull back during the past few days against Bitcoin, and it did so heavily. But what's worthy to also note that it defended pretty much all of its higher time frame levels. Just looking at the lowest high time frame level. So when I say the lowest high time frame level, I'm talking about among the mid time frame levels to the higher time frame levels. So the weekly, the 2-day, 3-day, 4-day, and the daily. The daily is the lowest high time frame level. Cardano held all of the levels over there. So if you guys have been following us on the Mango Grove on Discord as well as the C chat, I posted a screenshot when we noticed Cardano showing weakness over here, right? So if you dive and break down into this into these daily candles here, these 3 daily candles, it's a structure of a descending or a very bearish structure that looked really weak, that broke down just before the massive Bitcoin dump, and that's when we got out somewhere around here. So we got out on that technical weakness. But what's worthy to note is that Cardano against Bitcoin has recovered a lot of its lost ground, but it's recovered it. Recovering lost ground is not as important as recovering lost ground and key levels, right? And that's what Cardano has done on its Bitcoin pairing. It's recovered lost ground of, let's see, what percent is this? It's recovered a good 30%, right, on its first wick alone. And then after that, since then, a good 42 to 50%, right? That's a good recovery, along with the fact that it's retaken these horizontals over here at 3900 Satoshi. It's retaken the dynamic at 4000 Satoshi, and it's retaken the opportunity line too of 4000, the op line, right, of 4282 Satoshi. So it's one by one, right? Defended the horizontal, defended the dynamic, bounced again, and took back the offline. That's impressive. I was pretty impressed with that. So I'll be watching this moving forward. I am not in any altcoin position whatsoever. Again, I posted it to you guys in the Grove and the C chat that morning, where I was like, all right, guys, I'm out of my Cardano position. Right, I'm seeing weakness in it. I'm reshuffling all coins. I have gotten out of all coins. I've thickened my Bitcoin position, and I've essentially I put myself in a position where I can get out of coins if I want to really quickly, if the market's showing liquidity and they're holding key levels. And my eye was on Bitcoin dominance. All right, I will come back to this very soon. At the time, we were somewhere around here. And the key thing I was noticing was that Bitcoin was coming down onto major weekly levels, while Cardano was breaking down against a major resistance level after a huge run, and all coins across the board beginning to show technical weakness. Ethereum too was beginning to do something like this, right? So we're seeing weakness while Bitcoin dominance was stuttering at a major monthly level, while Bitcoin was coming down onto its major support level against USD2. So that was one of the biggest reasons why I was getting ready and getting primed to get out of altcoins if I needed to. But again, you don't do it on a whim. You have to transition out, right? Because you can never ever really get the perfect sell, guys. You shouldn't aim to. Because what if I was wrong? What if I was wrong on that and all the altcoins pumped and I was just left holding bag of Bitcoin, right? And I miss out on those gains. So you need to be able to transition out. Okay, so now we covered ADA Bitcoin. I want to go ahead and talk about ADA USD now. Now this is important because while Cardano has performed or has rather recovered against Bitcoin, what's happening on the USD chart is going to be really key moving forward. And for the USD time frame, guys, I do want to keep a look only on the higher time frames. So the weekly, the 4-day, the 2-day, and we'll take a look at the daily as well. So before I talk about the USD chart, let me go ahead and take a look at the chat. 11 of spades says, oh my gosh, Cardano bearish. Ryan F says, Sean, what's up, brother? So glad I'm catching you live stream. Good to see your face. Where's Krish? Dude, did you catch by the way, how's it going, Ryan? I'm so glad that you were able to make it as well. And oh man, I was actually supposed to get back to you with a couple of questions I did have for Michael Saylor. So I'm not sure whether I still have that opportunity to ask him those questions, but I didn't have many questions for him, but there was one pressing question that I did have. So yeah, let me know through PM. Just been so busy, man. Just been so busy. But did you catch yesterday's live stream? Krisha was here. You missed it. If you didn't catch yesterday's live stream, you need to watch yesterday's live stream. It was a good one. But hey, it makes me smile to see you on the live stream, Ryan. I'm really glad you made it today. One of the reasons I did do the live stream early today was primarily because a lot of people in North America, Canada, USA primarily have been missing the live stream, right? Because it's been later than usual. Let me just switch up this music. It's kind of... Alright, that should do it. I'll try to do more of these streams earlier in the morning, guys, so you guys can catch it. But it kind of eats into my routine. But I'm really gonna try, because doing these live streams is really exhausting on its own. Because again, I talked to you guys about how I'm more of a I'm not an extrovert, right? People think I'm an extrovert, but I'm not. I'm an introvert. So these social interactions are really exhausting. I get rejuvenated being alone in my library, reading my books. I'm just that kind of guy. But I'll try to switch up my timing so that way I can catch the EU crowd and the North American crowd throughout the week. It's not fair to you guys, I totally understand. I'm just trying my best. Nuart says, my brain can't understand trading stablecoin versus BTC yet. Isn't it the same dollar value? I don't understand your question, and if you could explain your question, I think I'll be able to answer you, because I do trade across multiple pairings. So Axis says, it's better if you keep your routine. Hey Ollie, how's it going? Ollie, I was gonna message, I was gonna PM you and say, hey, you should try to make it to today's stream, perhaps even join me on the audio, but I didn't want to press into you. So yeah, going back to Swag's statement, yeah, I totally agree with you over there, because messing up my routine is gonna break a lot of other things in my life too. But at the same time, I'm wondering whether I'm doing the commute. I'm just feeling a little bit guilty, because a lot of people tend to miss the stream. I need a solution to this, because it's not fair for you can't expect someone with a family and who has kids, etc., and has a day job to be able to stay up late, right? Dalwinder Singh says, hi bro Sean, thanks so much for taking the time to share and explain in detail your thoughts. It really helps me. Hey man, my pleasure. I'm really glad that you're finding value in these streams. A lot of times I just feel like I'm ranting over here and not really saying anything of value, but I'm glad that I am in the midst of all of the rants. You guys find some golden nuggets. All right, so I do want to talk about the 2-day time frame now. I can channel Michael Taylor's spirit and pretend to answer. I don't think anyone can answer on at the caliber or at his level. Like, Jesus Christ, there are very few people that make me go, damn, that guy is thinking at a pace that rivals. So I tell you guys that I have one of my biggest weaknesses is that I have a really bad memory, right? But one of my strengths is that I'm always thinking while talking. I'm always thinking while other people are talking. I can't stop thinking. So one of the things that Krisha's mom has a problem with me. She's like, this guy is always analyzing while talking, while thinking. He can never stop. Krisha has a problem with me too. I can't just have a conversation about nothing, you know, always needs to be about something. And Michael Saylor, I can tell you that this guy's thinking at a pace 100x than I am. He's like wired, like he's thinking so fast, it's ridiculous. You can tell he's at a level that few human beings will ever achieve. Keaton says got to head out, unfortunately. Hey man, sucks to hear, but hopefully I'll see you in the next live stream, perhaps on Monday, because I don't think I'll be doing a live stream this weekend. About 1,000 cuts, that's so true. Now that I think about it, thank you for pointing that out, man. Hey Azhar, I'm glad that you were able to, you know that alone, that statement that you just typed out, shows that you can take your trading to a next level at a faster rate than many traders, many market participants in this space, because you'll be surprised as to how many people will hear what I said over there and be like, no, he's wrong. He doesn't know what he's talking about, right? They're not willing to really sit back, reflect on a new piece of information. They're quick to dismiss because people are very uncomfortable being wrong on a certain view. They hold on to their views too tightly and they're never willing to let it go, right? I really like the phrase, strong opinions loosely held. Have a strong opinion, but you need to, don't hold on to it for dear life. Having a strong opinion is good because you need to debate it and fight it, but be okay letting it go, right? Especially when it comes to trading. That's why I switch in a second from bullish to bearish or bullish to neutral. I'll get out of my positions if I don't like what I'm seeing. But a lot of ranting and not a lot of technical analysis. So let's go ahead and start. Yeah, Sailor's a bot, dude. He's an android. He's a freaking android. He's from the future. We still going to the moon? Right. Let's go ahead and talk about that. Someone else asked the question on Cardano earlier in the stream. He said, this is what he said. He said, I'm going to try to paraphrase because I can't find. Oh, there it is. Carlos Rosado says, after what happened yesterday, anyone still think Cardano will hit $8 to $10 by the end of this year? By the end of this year. Okay, now again, this goes back to what I was talking about in terms of, do not let nominal value, do not let a dollar value of any asset change your opinion on what the asset is going to do in the future, right? An asset can pull back really deep, right? And it really doesn't change anything in terms of its long-term potential. But at the flip side, it could move just a very small amount and it changes everything, right? So what really matters is the structural positioning of the asset on the charts. And over here we can see that, let's just switch to the daily for a second. All right, let's just switch to daily. You can see that Cardano is literally sitting at the same price it was sitting at. Let's see, we had the dump over here, so we'll go back. You can see that a week. Okay, so it's literally lost only on that move. It lost a week's worth of price action. That's it in this entire year that Cardano has performed, all the way from, let's say, December-ish, from around 17 cents it moved all the way to $2.30. It's only given back 1 week of price action, right? And people are like, is it over, blah blah blah, is that it? Now, I'm not saying that that's enough to say, hey, I'm just going to ignore this. What I'm trying to say is, do not let the nominal value, don't let the dollar value change your opinion or change your goals on what Cardano can do. What's important is what it's doing on a structural basis, all right? And we're going to be talking about that now. Let's switch on over to the 2-day, not the 4-hour. Switch on to the dynamic, and you're going to see that Cardano held the 2-day dynamic on that entire move on the 2-day time frame. All right, on the 2-day time frame, going to switch to the 4-day as well. On the 2-day time frame, and we've been saying this for a while, Cardano and Ethereum, etc., we'll be looking at the higher time frames, the 2-day, the 4-day, and the weekly. It held the dynamic. It's currently resisting the op line, right? But look at that wicked onto the bottom of the dynamic cloud right over there. Consolidated on this level for so long, broke above it, hit our level at around $2.40, which was essentially our resistance level before we see continuation. Never really cleared it, and now we've come down and we're retesting that zone. Yes, this test was very, very deep, and that's what you see in a huge market dump like we saw on Bitcoin. The question now, however, is what does Cardano do from here? Does it break back underneath the zone over here at around $1.65? That $1.65 zone was really, really important for us, right? Going into this breakout that we had from this zone over here. We held it, and now we're holding the dynamic along with that zone. If we break back underneath $1.56, that's when I'll be looking for further downside. Until then, I'm neither bullish nor I am bearish, right? I am neutral over here. The reason I am neutral is because of this wick. This wick is not something I want to ignore, right? We took out these wicks over here, we took out these wicks over here, so we took out two important wicks. We haven't taken out this wick just yet, but even if we had, it wouldn't have mattered as much because of the buyback that we did have, and the candle close is more important to me when I see a wick that deep, right? So on the 2-day, we are looking fantastic. No, hold up. I don't say fantastic. We're looking okay. I'm not bullish. I'm neutral, all right? What happens from here is what's important. Does the market come and break down into its previous structure is what's key moving forward. Let's switch to the 4-day. The 4-day literally tested the same level that it's been consolidating on for the longest time over here, right? If you've been collecting your position on the 4-day, well, you got another chance to collect more Cardano at $1. It's ridiculous I came down to $1. That was actually a buy opportunity for all the massive Cardano bulls, right? If you are bullish on Cardano and bearish on Bitcoin, and your long-term Cardano is the future, Bitcoin's gonna fail, that was your buy opportunity right over there. Me personally, I bought on the Bitcoin dip. I bought spot Bitcoin. I did not buy any spot altcoins whatsoever. We also held the $2 this daily zone over here, right, at around $1.63. You see the zone over here, by the way, guys, I have marked out. I got that from the daily time frame, and it's lining up with the 4-day time frame, so that's good to keep a note of. And we held the op line, right? We held the op line on the Mango dynamic. Let me just go ahead and show you guys, right? We closed above it, and it looks like we're coming down to retest it. So the 4-day is actually looking good, surprisingly looking really good. The 2-day is neutral, and that's what I'm playing off. Weekly is actually looking fantastic. Like the weekly is looking fantastic. 2 days looking good. 4 days looking good, and the 2 days looking I want to see more information. Does that make sense, guys? Does that make sense? Ollie says, Sean, can we look at the 3 months for Bitcoin? Yeah, let's look at Bitcoin varies. I think we can switch on over to Bitcoin right now. I do have some interesting things to share on Bitcoin with you guys, so I'm glad that more of you are showing up over here. We have Andrew in here too. We have Ollie. We have Andrew C. So we have 2 Andrews. We have Pipes and Andrew C. We have who else? Let the other seedlings know that Sean's about to start. Matt Stories is in here as well. How's it going, Matt? We're about to start the Bitcoin analysis. You've given so much advice, and the advice is more timeless. I understand your sentiment. It's pretty sweet. Appreciate that. Plus high time frame analysis. I think the secret to being a good trader is your ability to have to put different pieces of the puzzle together across time frames and across assets, right? So as we mature as a community, we're going to be doing that more and more and more, because I'm constantly learning, maturing, trying to push myself So I'm hoping 5 years from now, 10 years from now, a lot of you guys are still here with me, and we are still learning, we're still killing it in the markets, and we're still maturing, we're still going through pain together, we're still crying together, we're still celebrating together, and we're just doing it on a much grander scale. Christian's doing a video for you guys, a daily video as we speak. So all right, so let's go ahead and talk about Bitcoin. Here's the thing with Bitcoin, guys. Bitcoin gets really, really interesting, and Bitcoin is going to set the tone for everything we do. So I'm going to go ahead now and turn down the music a tad bit, because we're going to go into concentration mode. Let me know if the music's too soft for you guys now. Might be, eh? All right. So I talked about this with the seedlings, as well as one of the Grow members, right, Stan. We were talking about this when we got the Bitcoin dump, when we started seeing Bitcoin dominance start bouncing and altcoins start getting hammered against their Bitcoin pairings. What I talked about was that, hey, okay, cool, we have the Bitcoin bounce against altcoins. We are seeing Bitcoin be stronger than altcoins, but that's not enough now. Okay, what we're looking for now is what happens next. Do we put in a lower high, or do we put in a higher low? Okay, so let's actually talk about what I mean over there. Oops. So let's say we have an asset move like this, go up, 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 right? And then it starts coming down, right? And it breaks down. Now the question from over here is, let's say you time the bounce. You time the bounce and you're like, okay, I managed to catch the bottom, blah, blah, blah. I got a really good win, and you got the bounce. And whether you got a win or you prevented a loss is pretty much the same thing, right? In terms of what we're talking about. Because at this juncture, once you get the bounce that you were actually expecting, you need to be cognizant of what could happen next, right? Because this bounce could get sold into, okay? And if this bounce gets sold into, the next step is looking for whether or not we get sold into to the point that we break this low that we have over here, putting in a lower low essentially, or whether we do something like this instead, where we come down, bounce, and then on the bounce, when we do get sold into, putting in the lower high, we put in a higher low instead. If we put in a higher low instead, all right, and then bounce one more time, we may either go into a bullish consolidation pattern by putting in another lower high or flat low, right? So flat low is essentially your ascending triangle formation, and do something like this. That's how you get your ascending triangles, guys. It's a bullish formation, it's a bullish consolidation before continuation of the trend. Because over here, what happened was the bull stepped in and prevented price going lower than the previous low, essentially saying that, hey, I missed out on the previous buying opportunity. I'm not going to miss out this time. I'm going to be the one front running. I'm willing to buy at a higher price than the low. They weren't waiting for price to come down lower and lower. No, they're like, nope, I'm buying here, right? They're buying earlier and earlier. And you see that happening, and price reverses. So that's what I mean by it's really important to now keep an eye on what happens moving forward, right? So let's go ahead and delete this. Because if the reverse happened, if we put on a lower low, then we'd be having something like this. We'd be having, right? The price just keeps going lower and lower, which is why we advise people to not, you guys can hear me, right? Okay, cool. We advise people to not catch a falling knife. If you're doing it, do it with a plan, a strategic plan, and you're only doing it as a scalp trade, right? Don't try to catch a falling knife. Okay, so going back to Bitcoin now. Bitcoin has bounced perfectly off the 4-day dynamic, right? We bounced perfectly off it right over there. And What was the percent? It was a good 30% bounce, right? So this alone may get people thinking, damn, that was a 30% bounce, it's so bullish, blah blah blah, I'm gonna get in, we're gonna bottom up from over here. No guys, no, you cannot be thinking like that. This over here is not enough information. Yes, we bounced and the trade was over here, right? Now if you're looking long term, if you're looking like weeks, months down to the line, yeah, you accumulate your position over here. But if you're taking leverage trades over here, in my opinion, that's really misguided, because look at that. We have a lot of resistance overhead. Okay, the trade was a range trade from here to here if you're trading on the midterm and the short term. Long term, you can buy here. In fact, you could buy here too if you want to buy like for 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line. It won't really matter. But you can't take a leverage trade here, right? We're against resistance. We closed underneath the 4-day dynamic, and that's really important. We talked about this in yesterday's live stream. I was looking for that bullish condition to be met for me to say, hey, you know what, this is looking fantastic now, because not only would we have bounced on top or bounced off the 4-day horizontal of the dynamic, right, this flat line over here, the trend line of the dynamic, but we would have actually closed above the cloud portion of the dynamic right over here at $42,025. But unfortunately we didn't do that. But that's not a death sentence for Bitcoin either. It just means that, hey, we need more information. Because what were we looking for yesterday? We're looking for the bounce over here, which we got, looking for the close above here, which we didn't get. And by the way guys, look at that, the market is respecting that level, because we tested that again this morning and we're seeing continuation towards the downside, right? Or rather we're seeing a pullback rather from it on the lower time frames. Remember, the 4-day close this morning, it's a really important daily candle close. We closed the daily and we closed the 4-day and a 2-day candle as well. So we're looking for this close over here, which we didn't get, and we're looking for something else that we did get. And what's that? That was the daily 200 moving average. And this is where it gets really interesting. We closed above the daily 200 moving average, right? A lot of people are surprised with this. Me, not so much, because a lot of photos going on over here reminded me of something else that happened not too long ago, but not too recently either. The entire price action, right? The entire price action. I was drawing a 1-to-1 comparison in the live stream yesterday too, in how I was able to trade that time when we had the massive dump, and this time around I was in the opposite situation where I was in positions, I didn't have my open hands, right? I didn't have a open hand, and I wasn't able to fully take advantage of the dump. So yeah, so like I said, there's a lot of work to do, right? And we're going to be talking about that. What would I be looking for Bitcoin to do to get bullish again? And it's going to be something very similar to what we discussed a year ago, and we're going to be trading it the same way, right? Last time around too, we didn't catch the exact bottom, right? A lot of similarities, right, in how we were trading it, but in the long run it didn't matter, because we took the easy trade, the stress-free trade, and we're going to be doing something very similar over here. Hopefully we'll be able to milk this opportunity as well. So before I go any further, I want to know if you guys understand what I mean thus far. Are you guys following me? Because I'm about to show you guys something that's really interesting in regards to what happened now, right, with the current Bitcoin movement, and along with the structure that happened during the COVID dump. Jason Mathis says, why are you so bullish on Bitcoin but not ADA? From what I've seen and read, Cardano has the technology to help humanity. I don't believe Bitcoin has the ability to do. I just don't know anything about Cardano, man. That's it. I'm humble enough to know that I don't know anything about Cardano to have an opinion on it, so I can't be bullish on it. I mean, I'm bullish on the price action. I just don't know anything about it to be bullish on it long term. But I don't think you know enough about Bitcoin. It took me a good 1 year and 6 months to scratch the surface of Bitcoin. So if you spent more time than me on Bitcoin, and you're willing to talk to me about both Bitcoin and Cardano, I'm definitely willing to listen. But if you spent more, just like a couple of days reading up on Bitcoin, that's definitely not enough, Jason. And I'm not trying to be disparaging, by the way. I apologize if I'm sounding that way. I've just spent a lot of time, and I've come into the space by being a Bitcoin, an anti-Bitcoin person. That's the word. I entered the space for Ethereum, and I stayed for Bitcoin, right? Because the more I studied, the more I learned, the more I read into monetary history, the more I read into how the world works, I realized that, damn, Ethereum is not the answer. I don't think so. Ethereum has a place, but it's not the solution that I was looking for. Bitcoin maximalist. I don't. So what does it mean to be a Bitcoin maximalist? I don't know. Maybe I am a Bitcoin maximalist. But okay, wait. Let me ask you this. If I believe that there is a space or there is a position for Ethereum in this world, or like not just Ethereum, right? Polkadot or Cardano or whichever platform ends up being the DeFi platform of choice, right? Does that make me a Bitcoin maximalist? If I believe that there's going to be another winner as well, does that make me a Bitcoin maximalist? So I don't know. I don't know, what a Bitcoin maximalist entails. I believe in Bitcoin. Saying that I believe in Bitcoin kind of like sounds very cultish. I think we should avoid that too. Because what if the Bitcoin devs make a mistake and they screw up? Am I going to say, I believe in Bitcoin, I believe in the devs, right? No, you gotta protect. I believe in protecting my family. I believe in my ability to change opinion, right? I think Bitcoin solves a lot of problems that the world has today. I think Bitcoin in its current state can make the world a much better place. It can make the world more green, environmentally friendly. It can solve a lot of the social issues that we're having. It can make the world a better, nicer place. A lot of the corruption that we have, a lot of the reasons why people are just bad is because of the corrupt money that we have, right? I've said this before on the stream. Money is the blood of society, and currently with the corrupt money that we do have, it's pushing bad blood into our society. Bad blood is flowing through the veins of society, and that's what's causing a lot of corruption. It's causing bad incentives, right? You've heard the quote. People quote it all the time. They say, show me the incentives and I'll show you the result. Well, think about this. If our money is incentivized in a bad manner, right, because of the money printing, we are going to end up with a corrupt society. So I think a lot of problems are going to be solved with Bitcoin because it's a pure money, regardless of what you say, right? Whatever your disbelief or whatever your issues are with Bitcoin in terms of it being slow, blah blah blah, which is wrong, by the way. Bitcoin is fully auditable, it's fully transparent, and it's fully pure. We know what's going on with it at all times. No one can lie to us about Bitcoin. Yeah, Rishabh, you definitely know more about Bitcoin than I do. If you guys are going to be condescending in the chat, I'm just going to ignore the statements from you moving forward, period. I do remember names. will governments allow that to happen? Eduardo actually is one of the few in there that's actually making a valid statement, because governments could attack Bitcoin through multiple narratives, right? One of the narratives, attacking Bitcoin directly is what people talk about. Governments are being able to attack Bitcoin directly, and I don't think that would be the most optimal or efficient way to attack Bitcoin, right? Directly, it's just way too expensive. But there are way cheaper ways to attack Bitcoin that could damage Bitcoin and damage the network effects of Bitcoin. Definitely, I agree with that. For example, this entire narrative of Bitcoin being anti-environment, which is completely untrue, right? Completely untrue. But the reason they can get away with it is because it's the cost, right? Everything comes down to costs and rewards at the end of the day. The cost to make that narrative is really cheap, but the cost to defend that narrative, right, to defend against that narrative rather, is really expensive, right? It takes, because Bitcoin is so complex to fully understand. And by the way, guys, I was exactly like all of you. I was exactly like all of you who thought that Bitcoin was bad for the environment, it was slow, etc. I believed everything that you guys are saying as well. But after 1.5 years of studying, the more I learned, the more I wrote about Ethereum. I was one of the first few people to explain sharding. I wrote like 3 deep articles on sharding on Ethereum. Vitalik even commented on my post saying thank you for this, right? Because people are struggling understanding how sharding worked on Ethereum. And the reason I wrote was to go through my own journey of understanding all of this. And the more I wrote, the more I had to dive deep, right? Because when you're forced to explain something to someone else, you are going to be diving deeper and deeper than you even initially expected yourself to dive into the topic, right? So the more I dove into Ethereum, the more questions I had on other topics, and then I kept learning more and more about Bitcoin as collateral damage, so to speak. And I realized that, oh damn, there was a lot of things that I was wrong on Bitcoin on. But yeah, that's what I mean, right? It took me so long. It took me so long to understand all of this. There's no way I could convince either of you or any of you in the stream, in like a short stream. There's no way. It took me 1.5 years. So all I can say is keep an open mind. Have your strong opinions, but keep them loosely held, because if you hold on to them too strong, it's more painful to let go of an opinion, right? And remember what we preach over here at Mango is to be willing to be wrong, right? And I'll be happy to be wrong on Bitcoin one day in the future. Who knows, right? Who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. Like I said, I don't know enough about Cardano. I don't know anything about XRP. I don't know anything about any of those altcoins. All right, so, oh man, there's so many unfounded comments in the chat over here on Bitcoin being slow, centralization of Bitcoin mining. These are the narratives that are really, again, very cheap to construct, and instead of just falling for the narratives, dive deep into those topics and just let me know if you guys still believe everything you're saying after that. But again, let's talk about the technical analysis over here. This is one of the reasons why I don't do fundamental analysis, because people get into debates and I really don't care to I don't gain anything from getting into these kind of debates with people, right? It just becomes a toxic community. But what we can talk about is price, right? And Bitcoin's price right now is, again, let's go back to what we're looking for Bitcoin to do on today's daily candle close, which lined up with a 4-day candle close. We're looking for it to hold the daily 200 moving average, because if it did do that, that would be one sign of strength, but wouldn't be enough, right? Because then after that, we'd be looking for either a lower high followed by a higher low, or a lower high followed by a lower low in the bearish case. So essentially, two possible situations where we've come down, bounced, and do we do something like this, right? And then further breakdown over here. That's the bear case. It could happen in multiple forms, by the way. It could happen a little bit more prolonged, where we do something like this, right? So don't take the timing of the chart seriously. I'm just talking about the structure. Now though, we've defended the 200 moving average, and there are some similarities to what happened during the COVID dump that we need to keep an eye on. It's not going to be, don't draw one-to-one comparisons to this, but it's worth keeping an eye on. I'm going to go ahead and turn on my 200 exponential moving average. I'm going to go ahead and turn off my Ichimoku right over here, okay? So we're going to be looking only at the 200 moving average and the 200 exponential moving average. So what's happened thus far is we closed underneath the 200 moving average, which was the first bear sign. People are like, damn, it's over, bear market's over, because we closed underneath the 200 moving average. But remember what we talk about over here at Mango? We say we always look for 2 candle closes so that we get our confirmation. So the bears didn't get their confirmation, not yet at the very least, right? We closed 1 candle, but we immediately recovered and closed above the 200 moving average again. Let me just go ahead and adjust this a tad bit. And so the bears have yet to now what the bears are looking for is 1 daily candle close underneath the 200, and then another daily candle close underneath the 200 moving average, right? So we're looking for open and close underneath the 200 moving average. Once they do that, they'll have the momentum confirmed in their side. Well, they already have the momentum, but they will take away that 200 moving average from the bulls, and this 200 moving average, which already, by the way, is beginning to lose its slope, is going to start angling towards the downside, right? Once the 200 moving average starts going towards the downside, we're going to have the bears feeling really confident. Thus far though, we don't have that. So again, we broke the 200 moving average, we closed above it, and now we're resisting against the 200 exponential moving average. Broke the 200, retook it, resisting against the exponential moving average. What I want you guys to do now is keep the same template on your exponential and your moving average 200 period, and switch to the weekly and go to the COVID dump. It was very, very similar over here, right? It's not the same, remember, it's not 1-to-1. But what happened? We essentially closed underneath the 200 moving average at that period. But remember, this was pretty much the bear market phase, right? We hadn't started the bull market just yet. So the exponential moving average was underneath the 200. So what happened over here was we closed underneath the 200, but I believe we closed above, or rather on it, right? Above on it, pretty much, it's close enough. So same story though. The bears were able to take back the 200 moving average on the weekly, but then the bulls went and defended it the very next week, right? So again, this combo over here, where the bears initially took the 200 moving average, we saw resistance on the 200 exponential moving average, and then the bulls retook the 200 moving average, putting the onus back on the bears. Well, there was a similar story over here, but this time the onus of the 200 exponential moving average on the daily time frame is on the bulls to retake. Before, in that period, the bulls were actually sitting on the 200 moving exponential average as their last line of defense. Here, they have to retake it to show us confidence. Does that make sense? All right, guys. Second time 32 and Rishabh, both of you, stop it. Don't 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 turn Mango into your debating ground on these kind of topics. Don't be toxic with each other, please. I'll ban both of you. The next person who says something. Yeah, there we go, Rishabh. That's the attitude. That's what I want to hear. Listen, at the end of the day, Rishabh, second Tim 32, second time 32, whatever your name is, all of us are here to do the same thing. We all want to have all the time in the world to spend with our family, spend with our loved ones, spend all the time we want on the beach, have the best food, have the best drinks. That's what we want, all right, together as a community. So none of that, please. Don't marry your assets. Just have your opinions, right? But you don't have to convince anyone else. You don't have to convince anyone else. Doesn't change anything. D-Ox says, why are you so handsome? There has to be Krisha on a fake account. Oh, that's not Krisha. But Krisha does that, you know, to me. I'll walk into the room and I'll be talking about something in regards to something I learned or something I read, and I'll be saying something, and then she'll just say, why are you so handsome? I'll just be like, what? Yeah, there you go, buddy. You want all coins to succeed, right? Because, dude, I long XRP, I long Cardano, I long Bitcoin. Doesn't matter. At the end of the day, if Bitcoin is going to help XRP be more bullish, which it does, right? When Bitcoin's bullish, XRP has a better chance of being bullish, and vice versa. When XRP is bullish, Cardano may have a better chance of being bullish. It's just how it works, man. Yeah, and we talk about that too, right? I've talked about that in the future. I'm like, people being emotionally so staunch against XRP, that just leads to missed opportunity as well. Just don't hate any coin. Just don't get emotional or anything. Okay, I'm scrolling up now to Old Man is here. How's it going, old man? Apologies for not being able to give you the welcome you deserve. How are you? I'm glad you made it to today's stream. I thought you'd be missing today's stream too, because I did start earlier. Okay, do any of you seedlings have any questions? I'll be taking questions now before we wrap up the stream. I'm scrolling up. Garima is in here too. Did I give Garima my good morning? I think I did. Garima says, once you said the world should actually be deflationary because of the crop system, there's inflation. Isn't that needed in a way to cause redistribution of wealth? Okay, that's a really good question, Garima. So let's tackle that. Okay, let's tackle that. A lot of what you're saying over there comes down stems from what we've been taught in school, in our economics courses, in our finance courses, etc., that inflation is good. It's a lot of mainstream narrative too that central banks want us to believe, so that we buy into what they are doing with our money, right? Which is essentially stealing from us. When they inflate the money, they are stealing from you, right? They are stealing from you in the name of redistribution of wealth. And by the way, the term redistribution of wealth has a positive connotation to it when it shouldn't. Back in the day, redistribution of wealth, not 50 years ago actually, was actually a negative connotation, because redistribution of wealth had a very communist tone to it, where communism is about being able to control what people earn, what people make, what people do with their money, and redistribute it on their terms, right? So think about what inflation is really doing in the long term and what it impedes people from doing, that causes the centralization of wealth, really, right? They say, and again, Garima, I was a believer in this notion as well, where inflation is needed to be able to allow for people to borrow money and to take loans and get student loans and blah 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 and buy real estate, all of that, right? We think, oh, without that, how would we afford anything, right? And if we didn't have this, we'd all just be poor forever. But the system is designed in a way that if it wasn't designed that way, you wouldn't need to borrow money. You wouldn't need to be in a situation where you couldn't afford a home, couldn't afford an education, just to get by and to succeed in the world. So inflation, actually, what it ends up doing, it steals from savers, okay? That's what it's really doing. If you save money, okay, let's say you have $100 or $100,000 or $1 million, it doesn't really matter. If you decide to save that money, right, and central banks cause inflation, what are they doing? They are eating into your savings. They are essentially punishing you for savings. Nobody's going to deny that, right? You guys all understand that concept. It's a very simple concept to understand, that inflation eats into savings. So if inflation is eating into savings, what is that essentially doing? That's incentivizing you to be an asset holder. But the problem is, Garima, that there are billions of people in the world who cannot afford assets, right? They cannot save enough to even afford the first unit of an asset. They cannot save enough to even afford a down payment of an asset. They cannot afford stocks. They can't afford anything. So they keep saving in what they can save, which is cash. Some people try to buy gold, but they end up with fake gold. So that eats more into their ability to save and compound. All of these issues are happening in third world countries across the freaking world, where they can't afford the basic means to even buy assets, right? They can't even afford, forget owning real estate, they can't even afford to put into the stock market. Crypto is one way out of that, but inflation forces people to have to be asset holders in order to succeed, because all that money, right? Okay, so if you are an asset holder and you accrue assets and you accrue assets and you accrue assets, and then you take into consideration all the billions of people who don't have assets and they are forced to save in dollars or whatever currency that their country is issuing them that currency in, because they have no other way out, right? And they're literally living their day-to-day lives hand to hand, like day-to-day, month-to-month. What's happening is, because they don't own assets and and central banks are just eating into their money and we are the ones holding the assets, their money is being shaved off and it's accruing into our assets. It's being centralized into my real estate. It's being centralized into my stock market holdings, right? So it's centralizing more and more and more wealth into the asset holders, and it's stealing from the people who are forced to save in the actual currency. Okay, so to answer the other half of your question, the reason Bitcoin allows for deflationary world is because it cannot be inflated, right? Its money supply cannot be inflated. If the Bitcoin money supply cannot be inflated, you know that there's only going to be a certain amount of Bitcoin. You know that over time your Bitcoin, in relation to the money, the total Bitcoin that's going to be issued, is going to hold its value, right? You're not going to get inflated out of the buying power that Bitcoin has in its ecosystem. So with that, as soon as you have an asset like that, you know that you can save in that asset, and over time, life is not going to get expensive for you. Life is going to get cheaper for you. So things start falling in value over time against that deflationary asset, that asset that allows for deflation. So Bitcoin, if you measure across assets, if you measure assets across Bitcoin, right, against Bitcoin, you're going to see that over the last like freaking 10 years, everything's crashing in prices. Real estate is crashing, the stock market's crashing, everything's crashing, because life is getting cheaper for Bitcoin holders. All right, I could talk on that topic for like hours actually. So I'm scrolling back over to the comments. Jason says, thanks for expressing your opinion. I'm doing a horrible job of expressing my opinion today. So apologies for that. Julian Patrick, how's it going, Julian? Good to see you in here. Good to see you in here. Who else is in here? Ollie. How's it going, Ollie? Says King Bitcoin. MB says Sean Arvina and ascending triangle on the hourly. I'll take a look at we can take a look right now actually. We won an ascending triangle. Are we anymore? Yeah. It needs to bounce here though. I wouldn't pay attention to this too much though. The breakdown. All right. Bitcoin could solve these problems, but will governments allow that to happen? I already answered that question, right? Yeah. I don't think I answered well enough though, but essentially the gist of what I was going to say is governments could attack Bitcoin by funding narratives against Bitcoin, right? Kind of like how a government could attack any president or prime minister of a different country by funding narratives against a prime minister or the president, right? So that can happen to Bitcoin too. Macbeta asks a good question. Says, I get that there's corruption with normal money, but don't you think there are whales that are bad also? Of course, there are. Of course, man. People are just bad, right? Of course, yeah. And but the thing is, how much can they really do? How much can they really do? Right? Whales can't print Bitcoin, right? Whales can manipulate the price in the short term, the mid term, but in the long term, they are incentivized. They are aligning their incentives with our incentives, right? Hey, Anis is in here saying hello, Sean. How's it going, buddy? Are you the same Anis? I'm not sure. Anis Desovic. I'm not sure. Good to know. Thanks. Have a little BTC at ADA, just trying to retire early. Yeah, exactly, man. Most of us just want to do that. Most of us just want to retire early, right? And Bitcoin allowed me to retire early, so maybe I'm biased to Bitcoin, right? Keep that in mind, guys. Keep that in mind. Maybe I'm biased to Bitcoin because of that. And don't listen to anything I'm saying. Like, my opinion means nothing. Okay, so I'm seeing the last time BTC closed over the 200 SMA was during the COVID dump month. Are you talking about the weekly, AJ? Oh, the 3-month chart. Ollie, yeah, let's go 3-month chart. Let's go to BLX though for that, eh? Holy shit. What are your thoughts, Ollie? What are your thoughts? You still here? No worries, Anis. Old man, thanks. I'm a big boy, I effed up. I can live with the consequences. What are you talking about? Lisa says, hi Sean, please check out this project Smegma. And let me know if this project is worth getting into, because I really like the tokenomics of this project. That's not something that we do over here, Lisa. We don't invest or look into those kind of projects. I don't like being in assets that don't give me liquidity to get out of the asset as soon as I want to. So I don't invest in ICOs anymore. Maybe I will in the future. Maybe things will change. But at the moment, I don't look into any of those things. I don't have any expertise in that kind of topic either when it comes to tokenomics, etc. I'm really behind on the trending, the things people look for, right? Because even when it pertains to tokenomics, something that is bullish in this market was probably bearish in the last market, and vice versa. Yeah, I was wondering whether you were looking at that. It bounced off this horizontal right over here. Last quarter's open, or you could call it a horizontal. It defended, right? 29. You can't see the wick here, but I'm pretty sure it did get down to 29,000 on some exchanges at the very least. On my phone and on the exchanges I do look at it, it got all the way down to 29,000. It's not showing over here on BLX though. Yeah, this looks good, man. Like, and remember, Ollie, we've been playing the 3-month and the yearly chart on Bitcoin, right? People ask me, how can you still be long-term bullish on Bitcoin? It's things like this. Like, our mindset alone was geared towards the freaking monthlies and the yearly chart, which we were mentally brainwashing ourselves to get ready for this kind of volatility. But I don't like the look of the monthly. I don't like the look of this monthly. But again, right, this could just mean that we're going to a monthly consolidation right before the next big move. But again, we're going to be waiting and seeing for any midterm trades. For now, just neutral. Long term is still great. Off to bed. Thanks for doing this tonight, Sean. Says Jason, have a beautiful day. You have a beautiful night, great night. Sleep well, Jason. Thank you for joining in. Thank you for contributing. As long as the low isn't taken, it's bullish still. There's no doubt about that. Like, if you're looking at the 3-month chart, Bitcoin needs to do a lot more before we get bearish. Which is why we just wait, right? Instead of trying to front run anything, we just wait. Not listening to anything you're saying. I'm just here for the background music. That's awesome, man. Glad you're enjoying the music. Nishan says, good morning, Sean. Good morning, right back at you, Nishan. Good to have you in here. Good to see you in here yet again. Andrew A says, Ollie, old man, I missed the Bitcoin chart. Yeah, we were looking at Bitcoin just a bit ago. Hey Julian, how's it going? Vishy2111 says, amazing explanation of inflation and deflation. Appreciate your thinking in the real world perspective rather than just a small community. I appreciate that, Vishy. I really think I did a bad job explaining that though, because I don't have enough time to fully dive into it. But I'm glad you were able to take something away from that. And yes, I am the older niece. Okay, there you go, buddy. How's it going, man? Sean, please read my PM after the stream. Yeah, I'm not going to go through my PM after the stream immediately, because I'm pretty exhausted after the streams and I get away from the computer immediately. But I will be going through my PMs later this evening and tomorrow morning as well. The thing is, if I just sit down and go through my PMs every single moment, I'll just be doing that all day, just talking to people on my via private chat all day, and I won't get any community work done where I'm not talking to the community, and I won't do daily videos. I won't be a trader. I won't be able to do my readings. So I hope you guys understand that I need to delegate a certain portion of my day to answering PMs. And at the same time, I don't want to give you guys one-word answers, right? I don't want to be like, done, right? I want to like talk to you guys properly if I can. And it doesn't, I can't do that all day. It's not feasible for me to do that all day. I won't get anywhere with my life. Well, community consensus seems to be signaling for Taproot. I haven't looked into it too much yet. No. So I don't have a strong opinion on that. But once we start getting consensus like this, I start getting more and more interested in looking into it. I've been looking into Bitcoin. I've been looking into some more nitty-gritty stuff that Bitcoin has been doing with smart contracts. It's really cool. So Bitcoin implementing smart contracts the way it has been, which is off-chain essentially, will be really interesting to see play through. You need me to rant more? It's like raining golden nuggets. Makes me more confident about my belief in Bitcoin. Well, just know that regardless of what the crypto community, so if you want to understand, or you want to have more faith in your Bitcoin position, Bitcoin investment, just know that what the crypto community in general believes about Bitcoin is largely irrelevant at the moment. Largely irrelevant, because Bitcoin has gained enough attention now in the global space that it's drawing the eyes of like big time investors and big names like Stanley Druckenmiller, Paul Tudor Jones, right, was the first big name, and Michael freaking Saylor. These are like the smartest people in the world. And then we have people who are in the oil business now, that are switching to Bitcoin, right? They've switched from they're starting their own branch of Bitcoin mining as their focus, and you can tell that they're falling into the rabbit hole when you read their writings and their work on Bitcoin. Smart hedge fund managers like Cathie Wood are strongly in favor of Bitcoin too, and these Bitcoin has drawn the eyes of like the smartest people in the world, and the crypto community, a lot of them, I'm again not trying to disparage anyone, a lot of them don't have the time to look into Bitcoin, but these people, right, Stanley Druckenmiller, Cathie Wood, they have entire teams of the smartest people in the world. They have teams of the smartest people in the world looking into Bitcoin and telling them that, hey, Bitcoin is the real deal over here, right? So know that that's what's happening in the global space right now, and these guys move a lot slower than crypto, so it's going to take its time, yes, but as soon as more and more eyes fall upon Bitcoin at that level, there's going to be a move that will come, maybe in the next cycle, maybe this cycle, I don't know, but just understand that the right people are looking at Bitcoin right now, and they are giving it the thumbs up. And the same thing could be said about Cardano and Ripple too, right? I'm just not looking into any of that. Hi Sean, may you take a look at DGB, please? Thanks. Hey, Raquel, right? Raquel, or is it Rachel? Raquel. How could I possibly say no when you ask so sweetly? There's no way I could say no to that. There's no freaking way I can say no to that. Holy. So this is a 3 month or so. Oh, it's the monthly. Weekly. Oof. This is the Bitcoin pairing. Do you want me to look at the USD pairing? Okay, so it's holding levels, right over here too. The fact that it's holding this level on the weekly time frame over here, the weekly hasn't closed just yet. This was a really massive wick, but it came and bounced right off this massive. This is a lot like yeah, this is the structure over here. It defended the structure, so got bought back, closed above this level too. So it closed above this level. Let me just take it out for you. So we have 3 levels: close above it, and it seems like it's closing above this level too. Let's dive into the daily time frame. Look at that. It's not doing too bad. I don't like this close here. I don't like this daily close, but it did retake it. So it recovered. It recovered well. No opinion. It's neutral right now. Oh, oops. DGB, USDT. Okay, so USDT held the 200 exponential moving average, held the 200 moving average too, looking good. But again, I'll be looking to see more. I wanted to start closing above this region over here, the breakdown point and the neckline. As soon as it does that, let's adjust this a tad bit actually. As soon as it does that, we can say, hey, you know what? This is likely going to make a move towards its highs again. So this Adam and Eve, you may call it, is what broke down. Right, but it defended this region here, right? So what we're looking for now is something like this, or perhaps the most aggressive thing is this, right? That's the bullish case. The bearish case is this, right? But right now it's up against resistance. I would not be a buyer here on the daily time frame. I'd be a buyer here or here. Get it? Mango patience is required. Yep, exactly, Marco. Marco, how's it going, buddy? Good to see you in here. Good to see you in here. Prithvi Shetty says, hey Sean, did you see 8chan thread on the coordinated dump planned on recent Bitcoin crash? No, I did. Wait, you mean 4chan, right? Yeah. I did take a look at that thread very briefly while I was in bed. Someone posted it in the Grove, I believe, or Seed. I'm not sure. None of that matters, right? How does it matter to us? We trade the charts, man. I mean, it's cool to talk about. I'm like, oh, it's good gossip, but it doesn't change how we do anything, right? Because if you let that kind of stuff change how you trade, you're gonna drive yourself nuts. Is Bitcoin Core Wallet really a decentralized exchange? Lindica, good morning to you. Yeah, I'm gonna be wrapping up the stream soon. I think we have 1 hour 30 minutes already in. Yo, check out HBAR sold off a massive chunk at 29 cents, have buy orders at 25 cents, and a massive order at 19 cents. Let's go take a look. HBAR USD. Yeah, USD, I guess, because you did say. Why is it calculated by TradingView? Is there no USDT? Okay, there we go. You have a buy order at, you said, 19 cents. You don't like this level here. I don't think it's going to come down there though. 14.75. If it does come down there after this dump, the rest of the market. This was a good buy right here, man. See this? A lot of these assets are being bought back at key levels, guys. A lot of these assets are being bought back at key levels, which is really interesting. $200 moving average, too, getting defended. So I wouldn't be a buyer here. I wouldn't. I think you said. Again, I'm losing. You said 19 cents. Is this 19 cents? So basically, you want to be buying underneath the horizontal if it does dip down underneath there. Why would you not just reduce a position size and try to get in at 20 cents, right? It's a psychological level too. If you're asking my thoughts on whether that's a good place to have a buy order, we don't give that kind of financial advice as to whether you should be buying this or not. But I'd rather place a little bit higher and get above the psychological level as well, rather than get front run on that. But that being said, there are better assets to be trading in terms of technical analysis. You could even buy above this level, buy above 36 cents, and this is likely, if it starts closing weekly candles above the zone and takes over 47 cents, this could go, man. This could go further, much further. So you don't need to get too greedy, wasting, leaving holding. Oh, so 25 cents and 19 cents. I see what you're doing there. So just do 25 and 20, right? But I don't know, having equity right now and having USD in all coins. So if you're so bullish on XRP, you should put it all in XRP, right? in this kind of environment, why diversify? I think all the news just used to control the time, blah blah. Yeah, I mean, I don't mean to say blah 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 in a disparaging way, apologies. It's just I'm getting a bit tired right now towards the end of the stream. I think all the news is just used to control and time the crash. People are going to have these narratives. We talked about this yesterday too, where a lot of times this news like this comes out and everyone just ignores it because the market is going up, right? There's confirmation bias where news will come out, China FUD, this FUD, Elon FUD, that FUD, and if the bears get their way and they're able to use the momentum as catalyst to actually push the price down, cause the liquidations, cause the fear, cause other people to want to sell, cause other people to want to panic, cause other people to want to just get out of the positions, it causes a cascade of liquidations that leads to more and more liquidations. There's no expirations for spot trading, man. No. So you can just buy, put in your wallet, and done. Alright guys, I'll be wrapping up the stream now. Ollie, any more questions? Did I miss any more questions of yours, Ollie? Yo, Ollie, if you're down, we should do a session where you join us. Are you buying BTC right now? I bought BTC on the dip. I'm not buying here because Rishabh, appreciate the stream, brother. I know you have a bias for BTC, but the way you neutrally look at stuff and at all other coins is admirable. Good stuff. I can't speak, man. Oh my god. Towards the end of the stream, my mouth gets so dry. Should probably have some water. But hey, man, thank you so much for. Are you from Canada? I see a CA there, so you're Canadian. Whereabouts, Toronto? But yeah, that's what we try to do, because I understand that everyone has their biases towards coins. Like I came in with a very strong bias towards Ethereum. I came into the space when I was supposed to do my PhD in blockchain technology. My prof wanted me to do it. It wanted me to focus on Bitcoin, right? And I was like, nah. I was so against it. So she said, okay, you know what, Sean, look into Ethereum instead. Maybe you'd like that, because I was a software engineer prior to that, right? And she thought I'd be more keen on something like Ethereum. And I was like, oh wow, decentralized applications, wow, this is so cool, right? I got so enamored by it. I started looking more and more into it, and that's how Mango Research was born, by the way, because I was supposed to journey I was supposed to blog my research journey on the fundamentals of crypto, primarily Ethereum, and then it turned into Bitcoin, etc. But that's how Mango Research was born. I just wanted to teach whatever I learned. So I got into crypto for Ethereum, and I understand that bias because I went through all of it. So there's no reason for other people to not have the same biases and for me to disparage them and tell them, hey man, you're wrong, blah blah. Everyone goes through their own journey of learning, and just like I was wrong in the past, or I feel like I was wrong in the past, maybe I find out in the future that I was wrong about being wrong, right? So I don't know anything. All I know is that I have my current stance and I'm willing to change my stance. Nice. I was in Canada for 12 years, man. Before I couldn't take the cold anymore. It's done. Done. I'm shaking. That's definitely a sign for me to leave. All right, guys. My friends are waiting too, so I gotta be leaving soon. My name is Sean Dex. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. I'll try to do one more over the weekend, but I can't promise anything. Until then, do the mango way, do it the stress-free way, do the easy way. I had a lot of fun this morning. I'll see you guys in the next one. Ciao.